Hi, welcome to this Grandma's Life podcast. I'm your host, theciaellis. Get ready to laugh, learn, and grow with me as we explore growing old in a never changing world. Today is July 28, 2023, and is episode 42 Navigating a Bad Day. All right, let's start with farm happenings. I am not at home still, as you can tell. Maybe you can tell by the difference in the background and stuff. I am still in Florida. I am still up in my bedroom upstairs, and my system that my computer's on the bed. And I'm sitting. I don't know what this is. It looks like it's a base of it goes underneath the bed or something. And I've got cushions so I can sit on it, and it's working. It's working for me. I can go downstairs, but my parents downstairs and they have a little bit of hard hearing and they turn the volume up on the television very loud, and we would not be able to concentrate on anything that I was saying or anything else for that matter. But I snuck up here for a few minutes to spend some time with you, and that's what I'm doing. But back at home, my poor husband, he has to put up with so much out of me, especially when I leave town. And this time has been for like almost 2 weeks now. And I was, I don't remember what I was doing downstairs, and a friend of ours called and said, "Hey, do you have a white sow and piglets?" I went, "Oh, yeah." And he said, "Well, they're in the road." And I went, "Thank you." So I called Tom, tell him to round up the pigs again. But I asked him, I said, "Have you set up the new fencing? Have you done anything with that?" Because he's on vacation this week to run things while I'm gone. Nope, he hasn't done that yet. So I can't help him. He has, though, been canning tomatoes. He's done several things with salsa. He's done some I think he did regular tomatoes, and to yesterday he did a whole mess of um I think he did made him into sauce so I can make spaghetti sauce, just not just regular, just spaghetti, just regular tomato sauce so I can make spaghetti or whatever I want with it. I don't know, but he did those in quarts because most everything with the tomatoes I do in pints, and apparently I'm low on pint jars, so it's going to work out. He can do the tomatoes in the quarts, and I think he said he got like 8.5 quarts of tomato sauce done up, and that sounds great. He's doing a good job. He's taking care of the garden. He's doing the canning and stuff too. You can't ask anything better than that. And Kenzie has stepped up. This girl, I'm so proud of her too. She's doing softball practice Monday through Thursday mornings. She's working in the afternoons 5 days a week, and she's taking care of my customers and getting my egg customers and getting them delivered. Uh, and uh, and her friend Cadence that stays with us, she's been stepping up and helping too. Everybody's been stepping up. I'm very proud of them. I'm really grateful for them. I'm ready to go home, though. I won't lie. I'm ready to go home. Okay, my three things, and I decided I could go ahead, even though I'm not at home and I'm not in my regular realm. I could go ahead and do a my three things. My three things today was to keep my cool, and I've done so far. I've done real good. Well, it's almost bedtime, so it's like that. Number two was exercise, and I did not. I have been exercising. I've been doing a little bit of yoga and stuff in the mornings, and then I've been going to the beach and trying to get some physical therapy on my foot, particularly my left foot, to see if I can get to heal up. And it has been very painful, but I believe it's helping. But we've had wicked thunderstorms today, off and on all day, and I don't want to go out on the beach where there's thunder and lightning. In fact, it's really fascinating. The thunder here even sounds different than what it does in Oklahoma. And I do not understand that, but it does. It sounds completely different. And so I did not. I think I can't remember why I didn't do yoga today, but part of it was because I'm on a rug and I was trying to do it yesterday and I kept slipping. I thought, well, I don't want to slip, so I don't know. So, and number three is a podcast. So I did not exercise. I have been keeping my cool pretty good, and I'm really grateful for that. And I can explain that to you as we get into this podcast. But so far, except for exercising, I did pretty good all day. This is my quote of the day, and I have to admit, it, I was looking for something funny at the time because I needed something funny, and this made such sense. This is from Rita Rudner. It says, "I love being married. It's great to find that one special person that you want to annoy for the rest of your life." And I thought, oh my gosh, that doesn't necessarily apply to Tom and myself, but it definitely, definitely applies to mom and dad. They have been married for 62 years. I think it's going to be 62 years in September. I'm going to be 61 here in a few days. So yeah, I was the oldest. And they don't annoy each other on purpose necessarily, but they can't. They adore each other. They adore each other, even though they don't sound like it half the time. But yep, I love being married. It's great to find that one special person you want to annoy for the rest of your life. Rita Rudner. But, as I'm doing what I've been doing now too, is I get to learning a little bit about the people that I am doing their quotes from. So I looked up Rita Rudner, and everybody, you guys, everyone has a fascinating story in one form or another. And hers is no different, just like anybody else. But her mother died when she was 13 of breast cancer, and she struggled to get along with her new stepmother. But apparently, he renewed pretty quickly because, or remarried quickly because mom died at 13. And Rita graduated from high school at the age of 15 and immediately moved from Florida to New York to begin her career as a Broadway dancer because she did dancing when she was young. She That's what she studied as a child, and so she began her career as a Broadway dancer, performing in several Broadway shows. But she noticed the lack of female comedians and decided to switch careers. And she debuted on Late Night with David Letterman in 1982. Since then, of course, she has gotten married, and she's written a few books and several screenplays with her husband, and they have an adopted daughter. It doesn't say anything about who the adopted daughter is or anything like that, but she now performs almost exclusively in Vegas now. So I think that was interesting. I just think people and everything is interesting. So that's pretty cool. My scripture of the day is 1 Corinthians 15:58. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourself fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in vain, that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. Let me try that again. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm. Do not let nothing move you. Always give yourself fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. 1 Corinthians 15:58. And that leads me to my main subject already. Isn't that crazy how fast I can go some days and so slow the other days? Let me see if I can say how to say this. I am upstairs. That's helpful. Uh, I have stated both of my parents have had strokes. I have to admit, when my mother had her stroke when she was 65, I was not surprised. She can be a very volatile person and angry and can make your life completely miserable, and for as long as she wants to make your life miserable. And she woke up this morning in a foul mood. Just she slept wrong, and when she had her stroke, she lost her right side, and she's been working diligently to bring her right side back, and she has to a certain extent, but it hurts her sometimes, and she sleep wrong sometimes. And before her stroke, I don't know what her deal was, but if she woke up in a bad mood, life was rough for everybody all day long until she decided she was ready to let us off the hook. And honestly, when I found that she had not slept well, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. But I prayed about it and I asked for strength. And I know, and I'm really grateful to a bunch of you guys. Y'all have been keeping me in your prayers. And I'm telling you, I'm so grateful for the prayers. I'm very grateful how things are going here. And uh, it's, it's really great. But at the same time, she woke in a bad mood. Dad has good days and he has bad days. Cognitively, he lost a lot of his brain when he had his stroke. Yesterday, he was fine. He got mom's breakfast. All that he take now. My dad waits on mom hand and foot and loves it. And so he got her breakfast all wrong. She always wants her muffins, her English muffins toasted a certain way. She wants butter on it, and then she wants a certain jelly. And Dad didn't toast her muffins. He didn't put butter on it. All he put on it was the jelly she wanted, and that sent her off on a tangent too. So I knew it was going to be a long day. Knew it was going to be a long day, but we persevered. So Dad wasn't there cognitively yesterday, and I have to admit, it was a little bit of a struggle for all of us because we never quite can tell if he can comprehend what we're telling him, and or is ignoring us, or what is going on with him. But yesterday was a bad cognitive day for him, so that added to the issues too. Um, Taking my parents to the store. Mother insists on buying groceries one day at a time so she can get out every day and go to the store and get out for the day. And I can understand that. But right now, Dad was before I got here was falling 3 times a day, and he did not need to be getting out. She can't hardly walk. She struggles to walk desperately, and but she wants to get out, so that's what we do. And Dad shuffles along with two um, artificial knees and an artificial hip, and apparently his shoes are too big for him, and he refuses to wear shoes that fit him. So I have to want and Mom, because the right side doesn't work. So they each get a cart. They get a grocery cart, and Mom is looking for groceries, and she's wanting to get what she wants to get, and Dad wanders off. So which one do I follow? Which fall risk do I follow? And Mom got mad at me one time because I was following her. She goes, "No, follow your father because he'll get lost and we won't be able to find him." And I thought, yeah, that's right, that's right. Because there's been times he's walked off to a whole other store, like gone outside the grocery store, down the sidewalk into the a store nearby. So okay, but when you follow Dad, he gets mad because you're following him. He's fine, leave him alone, and it's fun. So, but they just wander, and then Mom can't find what she wants, and she gets aggravated with that stuff too. It's just, and it's all in very, very slow motion. And then when they are getting along, they got their separate carts side by side, taking up the whole aisle, and nobody can get through. And it's just like, everybody's kind to them. I'm really grateful to everybody that's kind to them. Actually, a lot of people here in the Florida, in the area where we are, have been just really, really pleasant people. So I've enjoyed that part too. And very grateful for that too. So I they were sitting watching television. We got everybody home. We got the groceries put away for the day so I can cook the dinner for the meal for the day. And they were watching their television again on loud volume. And I thought, you know what? My sister-in-law said that there is an alligator in the pond across the street. And I thought, well, I'll go look at it. And I kind of needed to get away for a few minutes anyway. Mom was less snappy, but she's still on the verge of snappy on regularly. And so I just thought, well, I'm going to go see if I can find the alligator. Well, what my sister-in-law didn't tell me is there's a nice little park across the road, and it literally just across the road from our house. And I went on the far side, and there's a playground, and it's just beautiful, and it has a nice concrete level, not completely level, but smooth sidewalk that goes through it, and then it even has a circular where the sidewalk where you can turn around. I thought, well, that's cool. And then but across the pond was this nice covered boat dock type thing, and it was beautiful, but I couldn't quite tell if it belonged to the park or not the park. Well, with the park, with part of the housing addition where I was, or if it was belonged to the house over there. So when I walked back around, I realized that it was part of the addition and it was open for people to see it. And it really wasn't that far. And I thought, well, okay, Mom and Dad can walk around the store with grocery carts. We've got walkers. Maybe they'll want to go and visit this place. And that was such a good idea. And I'm so grateful for that because that put Mom in a better mood, it put Dad in a better mood. It took some time, took a lot of effort. They had to switch walkers. Mom didn't like her walker. She liked Dad's walker. They had to switch in the middle of the street. I was very lucky. Nobody was trying to get home to their homes. And they walked over there and they sat in that covered fishing dock, and we just had a wonderful time. And I'm sorry, there's another thunderstorm rolling through, so you might hear some thunder. But they sat and enjoyed themselves and rested, and then we crept our way back home. And Mom was tired, and that's okay because she wants to be tired. It wasn't that far. It might have been 100 feet. I don't know. I'm terrible with distances, but it really wasn't that far. But it was enough to wear her out. It was enough to get Dad off the hook from giving her a bad breakfast and everything. And we all got along. And I'm grateful, so grateful that I found that place, and they were taken, and they did that. So I'm glad that, to me, that was what my point of naming this thing, navigating a bad day, because there could have been really a bad day, but it ended up working out pretty good. Um, my question of the day to you is, what are some of the tactics you use to diffuse volatile situations in your family? Because if you've got suggestions, I could definitely use them. My story of the day. So I was telling you that I've been walking on the beach It's a beautiful beach. I love this beach. And even though the last two times I went, it's been a little bit windy, so the water's been a little bit choppy. But honestly, it's not been that bad at all, at all. And even just 100 yards off of the main entrances to these places, the beach is barren enough of people that there's people that are fishing, and there was a group of teenage boys, and they have the big surf rods, so they're very long and tall. What they do is they fling the stuff way out there, and in the surf, and in that surf it's easy because it's like only like 10 feet of surf or whatever. But they can fling it way out there, and they have stands that they put them into. And one kid was worried I was going to run into his line, and he's going, "Oh man, please!" And I said, "You're good. I see it. We're good to go." So I went on, walked on down the beach, and then I came back, and they'd actually caught a fish. They didn't know what they caught. They didn't care. Well, they called it mahi mahi. It was not a mahi mahi. I guarantee you. I said, because we're going to use it as bait. And I'm going, don't use a mahi mahi for bait. And the other kid goes, no, that's not what it is. I think he called it, I don't know, I don't know, something because it was slippery. I don't know. I don't think he knew what he was talking about either. I enjoyed talking to the kids, though. They were very friendly, and it was really cool. But it did remind me of what my story of the day is. Years ago, we were down in, I think we're at South Padre, and no, we were not. We were at Gulf Shores, Alabama, and there were some kids they had the great huge treble hooks because they were going to catch some sharks. And I think that's what these kids yesterday were going to catch also. But in Alabama, um, in Gulf Shores, these kids were going to catch sharks, and the boys would have their pole behind them, and they get a running start and fling the big old treble hook full of stuff. And they were trying to teach this one kid how to do it, and he did it wrong. I'm not exactly sure what he did wrong, but he knows he did it wrong because he ran and ran and ran, and then he went to go fling that treble hook, and it hung in his back deep, and they had to take him to the emergency room to have it cut out, and that hurt. But just watching those kids with that fishing gear yesterday reminded me of that poor kid in Alabama that got the treble hook into his back. I just felt so bad for him. Okay, I think this is a short one today, but that's fine because there's a lot of things I do. Like I'm reading, but not ready to share that stuff with you. So this is just touching base with you while I'm still in Florida, and I'm looking forward to going home. It's been a good trip. We've got a lot of things talked out. We've got a lot of things done. There's a lot of things we have not gotten done, but that's okay. I'm still working on them and trying to get things where I wanted to help physically with some stuff. Helping them to I want mom to go through her stuff so that if things get bad where she has to move somewhere or they have to move somewhere on the turn of a dime, they can do it more easily. And she's actually being pretty good about that. She understands the situation they're in. She's just not willing to accept it yet. I understand that. They've been together for 62 years. They've been married, they've been on their own, they're very independent, they've always been able to take care of themselves. And now at 81 years old, they're no longer able to take care of themselves. And it's been very, very hard on them emotionally. It's been hard on their ego. It's just been hard. And it's just hard on them physically all the way around, too. So that's what I was hoping I could do is help them go through some things. Uh, oh, like, if nothing else, get some of the stuff carried out of there. They had a big old jug of, what do they call them? The cheese balls, the little cheese puff balls and stuff. And I thought, oh, I'd like a snack. Popped one in my mouth. I don't know how old it was, and I don't spit food out, but I spit that out because that was a nasty, yucky. Oh, it was awful. And so there's no telling what needs to happen in that house because they can't do the work anymore. So that's what I was hoping I could do. So we'll find out. We'll see what we can do. Maybe we can get over there the next day or two and get some work done. I get the feeling we're not going to get a lot done, though. That wouldn't surprise me anyway. All right, my income producing activity today, the Self Reliance Festival, guys. That is coming up fast, and I believe you've only got a couple more days where you can get over to Camden, Tennessee. Go to selfreliancefestival.com. Actually, go to the link below and use my affiliate link. It would still cost you only $75 for the 2-day event that's in Camden, Tennessee, until I think August 1st is when it switches to $95 a person. They got other things too. Now, for the $75, like I said, it's a 2-day event. So Joel Salatin's going to be there. There's a few. Let me look it up because I had taken the notes on it. John Pugliano, he does an investable wealth. Toolman Tim, he's my friend from Canada. I've done a couple of podcasts with him in the last year or so, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. Brian Norton of Food Forest Farms and several other people are going to be there. But also go on through that link below, check it out because there's Joel Salatin himself, and if you don't know anything about him, look him up. He is a big name in this niche in our life. How do you pronounce it? You know, he has been taking on the government with our food situation through his own farm for several years now. And he's going to be there, and he's actually going to be teaching a bird processing class. They got 2 or 3 other classes that are going to be going on too. So the during the actual festival for that 2-day festival, they're going to have classes and talks and events to look into, to check out all through the thing. But they're going outside of that too for a different amount of money. They can you can sign up for the chicken processing class. And I can't remember. There's 2 or 3 other classes you can sign up for. And it's all on that website there. It's guys. The people there are wonderful. They want to help you. They want you to be able to take care of yourself. I really love these people, and I drive to Tennessee once or twice a year so I can be around these people who are getting things done, taking care of their families, loving each other, and in general, just loving life and taking care of everything. So I don't know. I'm not saying that right, but I just want you to know it is worth even if you do just the $75 Self-Reliance Festival. When it goes up to 95, you're definitely still getting your money's worth. So go through that link below. I would love to see you there. And when you do it, tell me that you saw that you're there because I saw because I want to meet you. I want to meet all you guys out there. This would be too cool. While we're at it, I would appreciate on whatever you're listening to this podcast on to give me a 5-star review. Give me any kind of review just so that people can find me. I would certainly appreciate that. All right, guys, I can be found at Grandma's Homestead. Channel is Grandma's Homestead. Uh, yeah, Grandma's Homestead, my YouTube channel. Right now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about farm animal life. Every once in a while, I put a camera in with some animals, and there's no talking, there's no storyline, anything like that. I just put a camera in with something like birds in a brooder, ducklings doing their thing, or whatever. And then I just put it out there. I don't do a lot with that channel, but there are some things. Every once in a while, I even put a short out. I think I published a short with some chicks today. But Farm Animal Life, that's my YouTube channel. I can be found on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, MeWe, Twitter, and Rumble, and probably a few others, but that's all I'm going to tell you about there. That's all I can think of. Like, I really want only 23 minutes, man. You know what? I do want to say this. I'm always telling you until you die because this is your dash. Do you remember me telling you about the dash? The day on the tombstone, the day that you're born and the day that you die, and the dash is everything in between. And I have noticed that here in the last 10 years, maybe 11 years, that my dash is, I'm coming to the end of my dash, but not like my mom and dad. Uh, I think they're realizing that their dash is coming to an end. It's been difficult. It's not been fun, but it ends. Sometimes our dash ends quickly and early, and young. It goes on and on and on. And but regardless, while you're here, while you're still breathing, while you can still do what you can do, what you do it. Live until you die. I am seeing this up front, face to face here in the last few days. All right, that's all I got for you. God bless, guys. See you next time.